So let's go ahead and have a seat, and we'll get situated in our bodies and just kind of feel what's going on. So find your comfortable seated position. Make sure that your spine feels straight and aligned, that your shoulders are relaxed, and that your head is just balanced on top of your spine. Close your eyes, take a deep breath in. Big exhale through your mouth. Just kind of settle into your skin for a moment. So we're just past a holiday weekend. Hopefully you all had a lovely time. So you want to just kind of check in with everything that you're feeling, all the sensations. And then let's start breathing a little deeper, a little slower. If you can do Ujjayi breathing, that would be preferable. And just listen to the sound of your breath. And as you feel yourself getting even more inner directed as a result of hearing your own breath, just check in with your mind. Notice if you have any particular thought patterns. Notice if there are any emotions present. Notice what your energy is like. And then if there's any of those that you would like to change or alter or even enhance, you can let that be part of your intention for your practice today. And so we'll go ahead and bring palms together in front of the heart. And just take a moment and be very clear about that intention for practice. When you're super clear on it, take one more deep breath in. And exhale with a big sigh. Relax your arms, roll your shoulders back a few times. So today we're just going to kind of move. We're going to help our digestion. We're going to help our hamstrings and our shoulders and our hips. We're just going to hit the whole shebang. So always, of course, take care of you. But we'll just kind of see how things go as we're moving today. So there's no particular emphasis other than general well-being. Let's go ahead and start on hands and knees, just doing a few cat-cow stretches, arching and rounding. So you're just kind of checking in with the spine, seeing how that's feeling, maybe even limbering it up a little bit with your movement. And then go ahead and take your first child's pose. Backside to heels, forehead down. Scoot forward into a nice spine lengthening Sphinx. And just hold this for a moment because we're going to do a lion breath to either side. As always, I like to remind you, your lion breath is an exhale. Your eyes open as wide as you can possibly open them. Your mouth opens as wide as you can open it. Your tongue sticks out, and it's an exhale through the mouth. All right? So in your Sphinx pose, you're pulling your chest forward. Let's take a deep breath in here. Turn your head to the right, lion breath. Inhale to the center. Turn your head to the left and do a lion breath. Inhale back to the center and exhale, downward facing dog. You may, of course, move a little bit here if you need to. And then once you have, just find some stillness. Lengthen your spine. And then we're going to walk the feet forward. Keep the knees bent and just dangle in your ragdoll. Make sure your neck is totally relaxed. And then on your next inhale, arms are going to reach up and overhead. Exhale, palms together in front of the heart. And just take a moment to really kind of root down through the soles of the feet. I want you to feel your mat, beneath your mat, the floor, beneath the floor, the earth. Really connect all the way down to the earth. And then take a big inhale and reach the arms up and spread your fingers and maybe lift the chest a little bit. And if it's okay with your neck, look up. Take a couple of deep, slow breaths here. And then on your next exhale, fold forward, standing forward bend. Inhale, look up and lengthen. And then exhale, back down. You're going to step back with your left foot. Just come into your lunge for a moment. Drop that left knee down. Go ahead and take your right hand up towards the ceiling. Bring your right hand down inside your right foot. See if you can come onto your left forearm. Hold that for a moment. And then take your right hand towards the ceiling again. Right hand comes back down. Come back up onto your left hand. Put your right hand on the inside of the right knee. Roll to the outside edge of that right foot and gently apply pressure to the inside of the right knee or right thigh. So you're looking for a little outer hip sensation here. And then bring your right knee back up. Arms come up and overhead. Tailbone tucks. We lift the chest and we'll let the hips move forward so that we feel it in the front of the left hip. If it feels okay, bring your palms together in front of your heart and come into an easy prayer twist. Just barely hooking that left elbow outside your right knee or thigh. And twisting to look up over that right shoulder. Hands on either side of the right foot. Extend your right leg. Get into your right hamstring. And then from here, take your right knee back to meet your left knee and give yourself a little tail wag. So from here, take a child's pose. Those of you doing child's pose. Those of you doing vinyasas, I'm going to join you today. So if you're in child's pose, you'll go ahead and scoot forward into Sphinx. Those of you taking your vinyasas, just follow your breath. And then we'll all meet up in downward facing dog. Really take the opportunity to stretch. And then step your left foot forward. Hold your lunge for a moment. And then we're going to drop the right knee down. Take the left hand towards the ceiling. And bring that left hand down inside the left foot. See if you can come onto your right forearm for a moment. And then if you can, take that left hand towards the ceiling again. Left hand comes back down. Come up onto your right hand. Put your left hand on the inside of your left knee. Roll to the outside edge of the left foot. Gently press that leg open. So you're pushing gently against the inside of your left knee until you feel something in that left outer hip. And then we're gonna go ahead and bring the arms up and overhead. Tuck the tailbone, let your hips move forward. If it feels okay, palms come together, gentle prayer twist to the left, hooking that right elbow, woo, just outside left knee or thigh, and twisting to look over left shoulder. Bring your hands down on either side of your left foot. Extend your left leg, stretch out that left hamstring. And then step forward to your standing forward bend. Inhale, reach your arms up. And exhale, palms together in front of the heart. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, look up halfway. And then exhale, back down. This time you're going to step back with your right foot. Now listen, any of this stuff that you need to drop your back knee on, please do. I'm going to kind of talk us through all of these moves in a high lunge because we're going to eventually transfer it into a warrior two. But if you need to drop your back knee down, go for it. Otherwise, we're going to keep right knee off the ground, bring the arms up and overhead. Tuck your tailbone a little bit, let the hips drop, find your stretch. If it feels okay, rotate open to your left, arms out like a T. If you can, rotate all the way around, spinning your right heel flat, come into a warrior two. Take your right hand to your right thigh, reach the left arm up and over to reverse your warrior. And then come all the way back up. Take your left forearm onto your left thigh. Take your right arm up and over. Nice, easy side angle. Those of you that would like to go deeper, slide that left hand all the way down to the floor. We'll bring both hands down to the mat and step straight back to downward facing dog. Take a couple of breaths here. Step your right foot forward. If you can, keep the high lunge, but if you need to, you can drop your left knee down. Otherwise, arms are up and overhead. We tilt the pelvis back and allow the hips to drop down a little bit more. If it feels okay, you're going to rotate open to the right. Arms are out like a T. And then you're going to rotate all the way around, spinning your left heel flat, coming into warrior two. Take your left hand to your left thigh, reach the right arm up and over, reverse your warrior. And then come back up and take your right forearm onto your right thigh, left arm up and over. And if you'd like to take it deeper, you can take that right hand all the way down to the floor. We're going to take the left hand down, step straight back, downward facing dog. And then from here, those of you that take vinyasas may take one. The rest of you guys drop to your knees and take a child's pose. Now, after you've had a breath in child's pose, you'll scoot forward into Sphinx. And then from Sphinx, we'll all meet up in downward facing dog. From this downward facing dog, I want you to take your right leg straight behind you, three-legged dog. On your next exhale, bring your right knee towards your nose and your nose towards your knee and see if you can hold it. Take your right leg back out behind you, bend the knee, roll your right hip open towards the ceiling. And then go ahead and step your right foot forward between your hands, spin your left heel flat, and come up into warrior one. Did I mention we'd be burning off your extra calories from the weekend if you happen to have overeaten? You're welcome. So just take a moment in your warrior one, and then take your arms out to the side with the palms up. Lift your chest, reach the arms back a little bit. Flip palms down and cross left arm on top of right arm and come into the arm position for Garudasana. So it's eagle arm position. You want to push the elbows forward so that you feel this in your upper back. If you can, lift your left leg off and tightly wrap it around your right leg for the full balance pose. Modify if you need to. If you can, unwrap your left leg and extend it behind you for a warrior three variation. Put your left foot back down where you got it, arms overhead, warrior one. Hands to the mat. Step back to downward facing dog. And then drop to your knees and take a couple of cat-cows because I really do owe you a little bit of a rest here. Follow your breath. And then let's turn the toes under, downward facing dog. We are going to do all that fun stuff on the other side. So press your hips back. Take your left leg straight behind you, three-legged dog. The next time you breathe out, bring your left knee towards your nose towards your knee, and hold it. Extend your left leg back out, bend the knee, roll your left hip open towards the ceiling. And then step your left foot forward up between your hands, spin your right heel flat. Hey, come up into warrior one. Once you find your warrior one position, your arms are out to the side, palms up, lift your chest, reach the arms behind you. Just let your heart open a little bit. Flip your palms down. So this time your left arm is in bottom and your right arm is on top, and you wrap them. Shoulders are pulling down, elbows are pushing forward for that upper back stretch. If you can, you go ahead and take your right leg very tightly over your left. Remember to modify if you're having a challenged balance day. If you can, you unwind your right leg and extend it behind you, warrior three variation. And then you put your right foot back down, unwind the arms, warrior one. Take your hands to the mat, drop to your knees, cat-cow. Inhale, arch, exhale, round. Those of you doing child's pose flow, On your next exhale, you'll take your buns to your heels for child's pose. Those of you doing vinyasas, you know what to do. If you're in child's pose, go ahead and scoot forward into Sphinx. Hold that for a breath or two. And then when you're ready, you'll meet up in down dog. And then everybody, find your way flat onto your stomach. So I want you to extend your left arm out in front of you. Your palm is flat on the floor. You're going to keep your left foot on the floor. Now, if you need to modify, you can raise just the right leg, and that's enough. But if you can, I'd love for you to try and grab your right foot or ankle or even your pants with your right hand and lift the leg up towards the ceiling, half bow. Release right foot down. Your right arm is going to extend. Your right palm is flat. If you need to, you can just lift your left leg. That's enough. But if you can, reach back with your left hand for your left foot and lift the leg up. Release that down. Bring your hands back underneath your shoulders. Press up and back, downward facing dog. And then from here, you can walk your feet forward, standing forward bend. Inhale, reach the arms all the way up and overhead, and exhale, palms together in front of the heart. So I want you to take your feet to about the width of your mat. Heels are going to stay flat. We're going to do a little yogic squatting here. Remember, support yourself on your thighs if you need to. The goal is to get as far down as you can, to keep your heels flat and to lift your chest. On your next inhale, come all the way back up. Arms overhead. Now, as you exhale, I'd like you to take your right hand to your right thigh. Your left arm is still in the air. Go ahead and lean to your right. So it's a nice side bend, but you've got your right hand on your right thigh and your feet are the width of your mat. So you should feel pretty stable here. Take a couple breaths. And then come back up, bring the right hand up, it'll touch the left hand, you'll leave the right hand in the air, left hand finds the left thigh, and you lean over to your left. So you're just sliding that left hand down the left leg to get your side bend on the right side. And then come all the way back up, feet together. Palms together. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, fold all the way forward. Inhale, look up and lengthen. Exhale, back down. I want you to step back with your left foot. Spin the heel flat. You're coming back into warrior two. Once you find your warrior two position, interlace your fingers behind your back, squeeze your shoulder blades together. I want you to fold right down the midline if you can. Take a couple of breaths here. Try and reach those arms up. Come all the way back up. Warrior two. Straighten your right leg, kick those hips to the left, lengthen your rib cage to the right, and find a triangle pose today. Wherever that is for you today. So be mindful of your alignment, mindful of your breath. Bring your left hand down. Take a moment to lengthen out over your right leg. And then you're just going to step forward to a standing forward bend. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, palms together in front of the heart. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, look up halfway. Exhale, back down. Step back with your right leg. Spin the heel flat. Warrior two on your left side. Once you find your alignment, interlace your fingers behind your back. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Fold right down the midline. And then we're going to come all the way back up into our warrior two. Straighten the left leg. Kick the hips to the right. Lengthen your rib cage to the left. Find your triangle pose on the left side. Bring your right hand down. Take a moment to stretch over your left leg. This time I'd like you to step straight back to downward facing dog. Stretch it back. In this downward facing dog, drop to your knees and come up to kneeling. So we're going to move into locked gate posture, Padikasana, and the reverse of it. So you're going to start, and I'm not mirroring you, so your right leg goes that way, mine's going to go this way. Take your right leg out to the right with your leg straight and your foot flat. Right hand on right thigh, left arm reaches up and over, and you slide your right hand down. Nice. Now, as you come back up, everybody's a little different. I'm going to rotate my right toes straight up towards the ceiling. Some of you guys have the ankle mobility to keep your right leg totally straight and have your right foot flat. I can't. So I'm going to keep my toes up. You do whichever's best for you. Left fingertips come to the ground, or they can be on a block. And now you're going to take your right arm up and over. Now, for those of you who would like a little extra oomph, and this is optional, the right hand would go towards the ceiling and the right leg would extend parallel to the ground. You don't have to do that, but if you're feeling it, go for it. And then put your right foot back down, come back up, and bring your right knee underneath you. Left leg goes out to the left. The foot is flat, the toes point forward for position one. Left hand on your left thigh, right arm goes up. We just slide that left hand down that left leg, get a nice deep stretch. And then we're going to come back up. So either left toes point at the ceiling or left foot is flat on the ground. Either way, your leg is straight. Then the right fingertips come to the ground and your left arm reaches up and over. Nice deep stretch. Now remember, it's purely optional, but if you would like to, left hand towards the ceiling, left leg parallel to the ground. It's kind of like a modified half moon, right? Take one more breath. Left leg back down, you come back up. You put your left knee underneath you, hands and knees, wag your tail, arching round if you like. That's all the hard stuff for now. So you're either going to take your backside to your heels for child's pose, or you're going to step into a plank for your final vinyasa. If you are in child's pose, when you're ready, just scoot forward to one final spine lengthening sphinx. And you can take an extra breath or two there if you like. And then just meet us in downward facing dog. After you've had a couple of breaths, to really lengthen your spine and press your heels down in your down dog. You can walk your feet forward, and I'm going to have you start in a cross-legged position, seated today. So take a breath. That was pretty rigorous practice for this class. Well done. You should be semi-detoxed and your digestion should be a lot better because of all the twisting, but we've got more to do. But it'll be a little easier now. If you can sit cross-legged, your hands are going to be on your knees. If you need to have your legs extended, put your hands under your thighs. We're going to do 3 torso circles in each direction and follow our breath. So very slow breathing. You exhale, that's the forward lean. And you inhale, that's the backward lean, and that's why you want to hang on to your knees or the back of your thighs. So you're just following your breath. When it's time to change directions, make sure you're still coordinated with your breathing. As you finish out, just come back up and roll your shoulders back. And then you can just keep your left knee bent and extend your right leg all the way out onto the floor. Lean out over your right leg. Come on up from that. You're going to pick your left foot up and put it on top of your right thigh. Flex the ankle. Lean out again. You may not lean as far. Depends on whether or not your hips are tight. So if you have a tight left hip, you're already feeling this in your left hip as well as your hamstring. If your hips are more pliable and flexible, you're not feeling it in your hip, and that's really nice for you. Take one more breath here, and then keep your left ankle crossed and come up and put your hands right behind your backside on the floor so that you can push into the floor for a straight spine. Bend your right knee, and if you're not feeling it in your left glute yet and your chest is lifted and pushing forward, then you can scooch up towards your right heel. Take a few breaths here. So you should be feeling this in your left glute, which is your left buttock. Now, if you can, you're just going to drop your right leg all the way over to the right and let the entire sole of your left foot hit the ground. Even if your left bun lifts, it's okay. Get your left foot flat. Your left hand is going to be behind you. You can either just hug your left knee, or if you like, bring the right elbow outside of it. So we're going for the deeper twist now. Twisting to the left, look over the left shoulder. You want to feel that pressure in your abdomen. So this is helping you with digestion and elimination. And then as we unwind from this, we're just going to take this left foot and bring it so that it meets the right foot. Have your hands right behind you for that nice straight spine. Press the knees out to the side and down towards the floor. And then you can just keep your right knee bent and extend your left leg out. Lean out over your left leg. And then we're going to come on up from that. Pick the right ankle up. Make sure it's flexed. Bring it on top of the left thigh. Lean out again. So just like on the other side, if your hip is tight, you're going to feel it in your right hip. If your hip is not tight, you're still just feeling your left hamstring. And then come on up from that. Keep your right ankle crossed and flexed. Hands behind you, straight spine. Left knee bends. You scooch up as much as you need to feel it in your right glute. Make sure your chest is lifted. So what you don't want to do is hunch your back or round your back. You're trying to lift your chest and push it forward. And then from here, we're going to take it into that deeper twist. Just let that left leg drop all the way over till the whole sole of your right foot is on the ground. You're going to take your right hand behind you. You can either just hug your right knee or you can bring that left elbow outside of it. What we're trying to do is get a really deep squeezing sensation in the midsection as we look over our right shoulder. And again, as we unwind, we're going to bring the right foot to meet the left foot, but this time we're going to slide the feet way out in front of us. You want them as far out in front of you as you can with the balls of the feet still touching. Lean out, clasp your feet or your ankles, and just kind of nestle your rib cage down between the thighs. Now you can do this with an extended spine, which is an arched back, or you can do it with a flexed spine, which is a rounded back. Whichever one feels better to you, that's what I want you to do. And then come on up from that. Extend your legs out. Give them a good wiggle. And then take them into a nice wide V, making sure you're on your sit bones, that your ankles are flexed, that your toes are pointing up, and that your spine is straight. Now that might require that you keep your hands behind you to push into the floor. So if you're pushing your chest forward with your hands behind you and you feel it in your inner thighs, that's it. You don't have to do anything else. If you would like, you can have your hands on your legs or feet or on the floor in front of you, but keep your spine extended, lengthening, and kind of pull yourself forward rather than down. It's kind of like you're trying to get your belly to the floor, not your head. We'll just take a few more breaths here. And then walk your hands up. You can use your hands to help your legs together. Give them a little wiggle. And then go ahead and roll onto your back. Hug your knees in and side to side rock. So earlier in the practice, I had you do that little knee to nose thing, right? Now I only made you do it once because we're going to do some abs now. Yay. Legs as straight up towards the ceiling as you can get them, and then make sure they're vertical. So for most of us, we're trying to get the curve out of the spine. We'll bring our legs towards us, and that's cheating in this particular exercise. So if you can get your legs vertical, those of you that are super hardcore, take them beyond vertical. Interlace your fingers behind your neck and point your elbows at the ceiling. And then take a really deep breath in. Hold your breath, flatten your back by tilting your pelvis, and then exhale. Take your elbows towards your thighs and stay up until your lungs are empty. Don't let your legs sneak back towards you. Inhale down. When you inhale down, there's an arch in the back. You hold your breath and you take the arch out of the back by tilting the pelvis. Then you exhale and you reach your elbows for your thighs. Breathe all your air out. Inhale down. Hold your breath. Flatten your back. Exhale, crunch, 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 crunch towards your thighs. Make sure your back is flat. Lungs are empty. Just two more, you guys. Inhale down. Hold the breath, flatten the back, exhale and crunch, elbows towards thighs. You're trying to get your shoulder blades off the ground. You're trying to keep your legs active, back flat. Last one. Inhale down, hold the breath, flatten the back, and exhale, crunch, 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 crunch. And then hug your knees in, rock side to side. From here, we're gonna keep the right knee hugged into the chest. Extend the left leg all the way out onto the ground. Just hold this for a moment. So this is wind relieving pose. And then we're going to transition this into a twist. Right arm opens out to the right, and you're just going to twist to the left. Now, if you need to make this a little gentler, just bend both knees, and that will lessen the force at your low back. If it feels okay with your neck, your head should be turning to the right. One more breath on this side. On your next inhale, you'll come back up, and as you exhale, hug your right knee one more time. Inhale the left knee up to meet it. Exhale, hug them both. You're welcome to rock if that feels good to you. And then we're just going to keep the left knee hugged in and extend the right leg all the way out. Hold this for a moment. And then transition into your twist, opening your left arm out to the left and pulling your leg across you to the right. Again, if you need to modify this simply by bending both knees, that will lessen the amount of torque. On your next inhale, come back up. Exhale, hug your left knee in. Inhale the right knee back up, and as you exhale, hug them both and rock side to side. So for our inversion, as always, I recommend that you do what is best for you. So that might be bridge pose, it might be supported bridge pose, it might be a really restorative legs up the wall. However, for those of you who can, my recommendation is to do some version of a shoulder stand. It doesn't have to look perfect. You don't have to be vertical, but to hike your hips into your hands and get your legs up. Now, if you can do that and maintain a little cervical curve, which means I could slide 2 fingers under the back of your neck if I were with you. If you can maintain curve on the back of your neck, do a shoulder stand. If you cannot, then please do any other inversion that makes you happy, all right? So here we go, choose your poison. If you can, you're gonna hike your hips into your hands. You're gonna maintain curve in the back of the neck. And just do your best to get vertical. It doesn't matter really what it looks like. But shoulder stand is actually a cooling pose, and you guys had a rather rigorous practice for this class. So I want you to have the opportunity to cool down in this pose if you like. We're going to take a couple more breaths. And then whatever pose you're in, just slowly come on out of it. Hug your knees and rock side to side. Now, if you can, we're going to come into full dead bug. So, ideally, you just go ahead, you keep your knees bent, separate them, get them wide, reach your arms from the inside to grab the arches of the feet if you can, and then get your lower leg vertical and pull straight down. If you feel this in your low back more than your hamstrings, try and plant your tailbone back on the mat. Then you kind of pull with your arms. So you should really feel this in the back of the thighs. We're going to hang out here for 3 more super slow breaths. Go ahead and hug the knees back in. And then put your feet flat but wider than the mat. So your knees are bent, you've got your feet outside your mat. We're gonna do 3 rhythmic windshield wipers and then we're gonna hold it. So with your knees pointing up towards the ceiling, take an inhale. We'll all do these together. Exhale your knees to the right. Finish your exhale and then inhale the knees back up. And exhale your knees over to the left. Inhale back up. Exhale to the right. Inhale up. Exhale both knees to the left. We're going to do one more time on each side and then we'll hold it. Inhale the knees up. Exhale, drop them to the right. Inhale the knees up. Exhale, drop them to the left. Inhale your knees back up, and as you exhale, drop them to the right, and this time we're going to stay here. Now, it might feel good to you to just let your legs stay like they are. Those of you that want a little bit more, you can take your right foot on top of the left knee for a little bit of extra leverage. Couple more breaths on this side, just getting that outer hip and IT band area. If your right foot is on your left knee, take it off and put it back outside the mat. Both knees come up and they drop to the left. Maybe you want to stay here. Maybe you want to put your left foot on top of your right knee and let it relax for a little extra leverage. Take your left foot back off your right knee if it was there. Feet are still wide on either side of the mat, but now we're going to prop the knees together in the center. And then we're going to reverse that. Walk your feet towards each other till they touch, and then let the soles of the feet touch on the mat and let your knees drop open. So just hold this for a moment, completely passive, getting a nice inner thigh stretch. And then we're going to do our final little low back lengtheners. So the next time you breathe in, press your low back into the mat, flatten out your low back. It's basically what we were doing in Anna Forrest abs, except now it's really easy, right? Take one more inhale here. And then the next time you breathe out, just go ahead and relax. Let the curve come back into your spine. Inhale, flatten your back. And then exhale and release and begin to extend your legs, separate your feet. Find your very best, most relaxing position today for Shavasana, corpse pose. So as you find your way into your corpse pose, make sure that you are in a position that allows your body to relax 100%, no effort. We are told in the yogic texts to lie on our back like a dead person. That means you have zero tension in your muscles. You have zero control of your breath. You just let everything go. And so when you do that, and you truly give yourself over to the experience of being on your back like a dead person, then you also kind of agree to stay in the moment. And what I would love for you to do today during your Shavasana is simply watch how often
your mind tries to trick you into reliving past experiences or imagining future ones. And it's okay. That's what the mind does. That's what it's designed to do, right? Our minds are really useful. They have a really important purpose, as do our egos. However, the truth is your mind is nothing more than a database of the past. And when you're imagining the future, it's still based on past experiences, right? So if you're busy reliving your past or using your past to project forward, you're really kind of missing the sweetness of your life happening while it's happening to you, or as they say, in real time. So just notice how much of today's Shavasana you can just stay present and stay in the moment. And notice how frequently your mind tries to trick you into moving back into the past or forward into the future. And notice it with compassion. Notice it with non-judgment. Just observe. Your mind is pretty tricky. It's pretty clever. It will probably win a couple of times and snag you off. And if it does, that's okay. Just come back to being present. Start to slowly feel back into your body. Just noticing beautiful, deep relaxation of the muscles. Noticing the soft breath. Start to deepen your breath a little bit and start to move your fingers and toes. When you're ready, take that deeper breath in, spread your fingers and toes, and then exhale through the mouth and relax them. Even deeper breath as you stretch your whole body, and then exhale. So you can either hug your knees in or just bend your knees, and then roll to your right side and pause for a breath. And then go ahead and come on up to sitting. So as you come to your seated posture. Try and come back to that same straight aligned spine that you had at the beginning of class. And just kind of take a moment to compare and contrast what may or may not have changed or altered. Notice if any of your intention was honored, and then just let it all go. We're just not holding on to anything. We just let it all go, come back to the moment. And then for our breath work today, we're going to be doing a true alternate nostril breath. And we're going to do it as a 1-to-2 ratio breath. I'm going to make it a short one so that everybody can do it together. It'll be an inhale of 3 seconds and an exhale of 6 seconds. If that is still too long for you, please adjust as necessary. And just a reminder, you always want to use your right hand to block your nostrils. So you can either take the first 2 fingers of your right hand and kind of tuck them under the pad of the thumb so that those 2 bent fingers are under your nostrils. And that way, right thumb blocks right nostril, ring and pinky block left. Or if that's uncomfortable, take the same first 2 fingers of your right hand and let them lightly rest in the center of your forehead. That way you still have right thumb blocking right nostril, ring and pinky blocking left, okay? So just take a nice deep breath in through both nostrils. Exhale completely through both. And then we're going to inhale through the left side. Exhale through the right. Inhale right. Exhale left. Inhale left. Exhale right. Inhale right. Exhale left. Inhale left. Exhale right. Inhale right. And exhale left. Let your right hand rest down for a moment. Just kind of take the opportunity to check back in. So that breath helps us keep our attention focused inward. So notice if that feels true for you. And if you do feel inner focused, take one more opportunity to check in with your body and your breath and your mind and your heart and your energy. And bring your palms together in front of your heart. Take a moment in gratitude that we have this body to live in, that we have this mind, that we have the choice of being present in the moment anytime we want to be, rather than shooting backwards or forwards in time. We can stay right here, right now, if we choose to, and that's a blessing. Take one more huge inhale through the nose. Big happy sigh. Palms to the forehead, reminding us just to be right here, right now, in the present. Palms to the lips, reminding us to speak our truth. And palms to the heart, reminding us to keep our hearts open, to always be kind, compassionate, understanding, and loving. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. Namaste.